It's time for real questions at the Local Government Climate Lounge at the United Nations Climate Conference in Copenhagen. Welcome to Mr. Enoze. Would you believe in a scenario where just the cities, through their climate action, save the global climate?
例えば東京だったら1400カ所のビルと事業所があって、それは人口が集積していながら、そこでたくさんの電力を使っています。排気ガスもたくさん入ってますけれども、ただし、その大きな火力発電所とか、あるいはその原子力発電所もありますが、水力発電所とか、それはみんな地方にありますので、都市だけで解決できる問題と、国が全体でやらなければならない問題と、やはり2つの課題はあると思います。
Of course, what you say is right. For example, in the case of Tokyo, we have 1,400 installations, including commercial buildings and other establishments. Because we have the concentration of population in urban centers, those installations use a lot of electricity, and also they emit a lot of exhaust gases from their operations. But there are thermal power plants, there are nuclear power plants, and there are hydropower plants which are located locally, not in the metropolitan center of the country. So you see, there are things that the local governments or metropolitan government can do, and at the same time, central government will have to have a comprehensive look covering all the municipalities. So I think there has to be a two-pronged approaches, one which will be done by the major cities, and another done by the central government, having the comprehensive outlook.
日本ではだいたい1400カ所の東京ビルとかいろんな事業所ありますけれども、全国で1万4000そういうのがあります。ただし国レベルで扱わなければならないのは500ぐらいの大きな火力発電所や製鉄所です。その部分は国がきちんとしっかりとそのグリッドしないとできないということなんで、そのためには東京が 25% 削減を達成しながら国に対してもっと積極的に働きかけて国を動かしていかなければいけないということで、そういう意味では全国の都市がやっぱり直面しているのは同じ課題だと思います。
I said that in Tokyo there are 1,400 business establishments. Across the country we have 14,000 such commercial buildings and business establishments. But in the case of central government, what they have to look after is about 500 establishments, including major thermal power plants and major steel works. So those are the establishments that the central government will have to look after, and Tokyo has announced that we will be working toward the reduction of CO2 by 25%, and we will be working on our own. At the same time, we will make an appeal to the central government so that central government also moves in that direction. So in that sense, I think cities share in the issues that we are faced with, as well as the need for appealing to the central government.
ちょっと付け加えなきゃいけ
May
ない。
I add?
500カ所の製鉄所とか発電所でだいたい日本のエネルギーの CO2 の半分以上出してます。
Well, by the way, I mentioned that there are 500 steel mills and thermal power plants which produce about 50% of CO2 emissions nationwide.
Mr. Enoze, when you got appointed, you were the first person in 58 years who were appointed for the position of vice governor who had no bureaucratic or political background. This may give you a particular perspective of governance. So, when we look at the global climate, who should be the guardian of global climate as a global common good? Which body should be entrusted to safeguard the global climate?
役人というか官僚は説明をしないということが一番問題だと思うんですね。説明責任をきちんと果たすためにはやっぱりその、作家の感性が、石原知事も作家なんですけれども、作家の感性があって説明をどうやってするかというときに どう説明したらいいかということを考えるときにまた新しい課題が発見されて、そしてそれがその新しい改革につながっていくというふうに思うんですね。まずそこが一番まず大事だと思います。
Well, first point I would like to respond to your question is that when it comes to bureaucracy or government officials, they don't explain. They are not good at explaining things, but they have the accountability. In order to discharge accountability responsibility, you have to have a certain sensibility. I think as writers, by the way, Governor Ishihara is also a writer, so we can count on our sensibilities in trying to come up with the best way of explaining how I can explain this and that. So as I think of the best way to explain certain things, I find new challenges and then I come closer to the solution of those problems. So I think the sensibilities of writers is something that I can count on.
僕が口になったばっかりに都内の都心にある公園のきれいな場所があって、そういう木がたくさんあって、1メートル以上の木がたくさんあるんですが、直径がそこに国会議員の建物を作るということで、僕がそれはダメだと言ったら大騒ぎになりまして、で石原知事もそれに賛成してくれたんですが、議会の与党は僕にイエローカードだって言って突きつけられまして大変だったんですけれども、木を切らないようにするという発想は多分この東京都のずっと連続性だけでやっていくと、国の建物を作る、国会議員ですから国の議員の建物を作るためにその木を切るということであれば、ローカルガバメントのある役人ははいそうですかというふうに言っちゃうところだったんですけれども。
Well, I can introduce to you one episode that I experienced as the vice governor. Since I became the vice governor, I was faced with a certain situation where there was a beautiful park, a green place inside Tokyo. There were lots of trees in this space and very big trees, like more than 1 meter diameter, big trees. And then there was an idea of felling those trees in order to construct a building to house parliamentarians. It was a project of building a parliamentarians condominium. And I said no to this project, and I created a very, very big sort of commotion. And the Governor Ishihara agreed with my opposition, but the ruling party at that time said that Vice Governor Inose was almost playing not accordance to the rule, and it was almost like presenting a yellow card to me, and I had a great trouble. But if the Tokyo local government bureaucracy worked along the extension of business as usual thinking, I think they would have said, all right, since it is a national project of building a parliamentarian house in this beautiful green place, we will go along with it. I think that would have been the normal way of response from the local government's bureaucracy. But I think because I was working from a different sensibility, I was able to stop this project.
それでその自民党議員、与党議員に対してそのイエローカードは相手チームが出すんじゃなくて審判が出すものだって言ったら自分が火に油を注ぐと書きました。
Well, and I said that yellow card usually is issued by referee, not by the opposition party. And then the newspaper said that I was adding oil to already a big flame.